Marlina, the Fearless Fairy. A Magical Fairy Tale by Svetlana Petrovic. Chapter 2. Dense fog descended in Quick Town. It was located on the other side of the cloud sea, opposite of Fairyland. The cannon tower, high above the city, showed light on the last window of the tower. Inside, on the throne, sat an evil demon with Aries horns on his head. He was dressed in a long black coat. It was Kobal, who was viciously rubbing his hands. Around him stood his army of small skinny Gloms. Their faces were round, with fly eyes. On their heads, they had Capricorn horns. They all had wings, and in their hands, they had dragon spikes, the weapon that can scare even the bravest opponents. Kobal was holding the magic orb. He shouted, "It is time to move. I destroyed every fairy in Fairyland, and nothing can stop me now. First, bring me our prisoner, the Fairyland elf." A guardian Glom went to the prison in the basement of the tower and ordered the elf to come out. "Follow me." The elf entered the throne room and slowly came to Kobal. Well, isn't it our singing elf? Why so quiet? The last time we spoke, you were mostly arrogant. Let us see if my Gloms have taught you a lesson. Tell me, where is the hourglass and the flute? Answer, or you will suffer, said Kobal and pointed to his sharp nail. I already told you. I lost it. I was sailing, a high wave hit me, and I lost all my things, said the elf in a pale voice. Don't lie to me, you stupid toy. Where did you hide it? Elf. I'm telling the truth. I swear to my ears. I see you haven't learned how to behave. I must punish you. Kobal grabbed the elf and put a nail in his ear. Speak, you deaf elf. This is my last warning. Please, don't. I swear I lost it in the water. I think it sailed back to Fairyland. You can find it there. Please, don't hurt me. I will find it. The elf begged for mercy. You think or you know? Make your decision. I know. It's there for sure. Okay then. I will spare your life if you can find it. However, after that you will die very painfully. I hate when someone takes something that belongs to me. The stupid wizard who made this hourglass destroyed my father. Now it is the time to pay back. Revenge. Revenge. Kobal shouted. Prepare to sail out. Gloms, prepare everything for our trip. Tonight we must move, said Kobal, and went to make sure everything is going as planned. Everything was death silent in Fairyland, like in a hole under the ground. Our ship was arriving to the harbor of Fairyland. It was a huge wooden ship. It had a flag with a silver symbol of 4 circles, with a cross in the middle. It represented 4 seasons, captured from each other. It meant only one thing. Dark times are coming. Kobal laughed with an evil tone, and then said, People, it's time. I have waited many years to return to this land. Sing me a victory song, all of you. Otherwise, I will throw you into the sea, said Kobal, and the whole float sang a song about Kobal, encouraging his power. Very well. We are here. Tie the ship to the harbor. Kobal came out to the beach, took off his shoes, and leaped on the sand. What a great sand. I feel like born again. Only one thing is missing. Aldo, bring me dinner. We will have a welcome feast. Aldo, Kobal's servant, a skeleton skinny man, took out a table, and served a hill of fishes on it. Kobal and his army came to the table and started eating and drinking like animals. I am here to give Fairyland a new ruler. I will annihilate all obstacles in my way to victory. I already cleared the bunch of dumb fairies, and nothing can stop me now. My horns are very sensitive. They don't like to be upset. They give me a painful headache when they are angry. Eat and drink up, so we can move on, said Kobal, and ordered to bring out the cakes, to sweet things up, and he laughed while dancing around like a crazy warrior. The next day, Kobal went with his army to the Fairyland forest. He cut off the trees and made a road that led to a hill. He started building a castle on a giant stone. He knew that he destroyed every living thing on Fairyland, so he wasn't suspecting that someone was still there. The whole time, Mearl and Bobo were hiding in the cave. Mearl secured the entrance with a spell. He was waiting for Marlina to return. Marlina came back early in the morning and landed in front of the cave. Mearl opened the cave and Marlina came in. Mearl told her everything about Kobal and his army. "I hope everything went well in the land of rainbows. This is our big hope." "Did you find the seeds?" asked Mearl. "Yes, I found it. My godmother and I had great time. Here are the seeds." Marlina took out the jar out of her coffer and gave it to Mearl. "I also brought something for you, Bobo." Marlina took out some bananas and gave it to him. "Wow, they are sweet as honey. They are the best I've ever ate." "Thank you, Marlina," said Bobo and kissed her on the cheek. "Kobal has no idea we are here, but he will soon find out." Fairyland Hill was turned into a building place, where Gloms have been building a huge castle for Kobal. Kobal stood there and commanded, "Aldo, bring me my prisoner." Aldo ran to the ship and brought the elf to Kobal. "It is quite boring here. I have thought of something that will amuse me. You will find the hourglass and the flute. Before you go, you will do a little show for us. My dear Gloms, stop with the work for a moment and come here to have some fun time." Kobal tied Elf's hands on his back and put a stick in his hands. Then he put a spell on the stick. Kobal kicked him and commanded the elf to walk. As he was walking, the stick was kicking him. Kobal said, "Look everyone, the elf is kicking the jackass in front of him." Kobal and his whole army laughed for an hour as the elf was kicking himself like a donkey. After quite some time, Kobal sent the elf to find the lost items. "I will give you 1 day to find the hourglass and the flute. Don't try to escape, or do anything suspicious. I will find you and kill you. Now, run, run, run. The time is ticking," said Kobal and released the elf. The elf ran to the beach and started searching for the lost items. He searched every part of the beach, even the sea. Suddenly, he saw his backpack lying near a cave. He picked it up and tried to enter the cave. Nevertheless, Mearl has secured the cave with a magic spell, so he bumped into an invisible wall and couldn't get through it. "This is odd. I see the cave, but I cannot get in. It must be something important in here," said the elf and tried many times to find the way in. After a while, he gave up and went to explore the forest. He was looking around if he could find anything useful. Nothing was there, except a clear ground. After that, he walked to the mountain. He was very hungry and thirsty, so he went to find something to eat. He saw a well and hurried to grab some water. However, it was dried up. It was very unusual, so he kept looking for some clue. After a while, he found the blueberries bush. They looked very tempting, so he took a handful of blueberries and ate well. Of these, he got thirstier, and he was desperately trying to find water. In the depths of the rock, he found a crack and put his head inside. Water clean as a tear trickled from the rocks. He found the entrance and went into the wall. He looked around and heard a voice saying, "The one who has an honest heart and believes in the power of miracles can make a wish, and it will come true." He was looking around to see who is saying these words, but no one was there. Only tears from the rock fell from the top of the room. He drank the water and suddenly felt dizzy. The voice appeared again and said, "I felt your soul. I see that you are filled with fear, but your heart is kind. Make a wish." The elf said, "I beg you to show me where the lost hourglass and the flute are. My life depends on them." Then the voice replied, I will show you. However, when you find it, you cannot go back to the evil that is waiting for you. His soul is dark, and if the lost items come to his hands, the world will suffer. Listen to your heart, and you will be saved. He passed out and got a vision. After he woke up, in his hands, he found a magic rose. The elf came back to the cave where he found his backpack. Then he used the rose and threw it into the invisible wall. Suddenly, the wall disappeared and he entered the cave. Mearl, Marlina, and Bobo stood inside the cave, and looked at him in fear. Who are you? Said Mearl. I am the elf Martin. I came here by a voice from the water in the mountain. I got this rose, which I throw, and I came in. I'm looking for my lost thing. I won't hurt you. Said Martin. I see, you found the source of desires. This is a good sign. It gives only wishes to good souls. What are you looking for? Asked Mearl. It was a stormy night when I was sailing on the sea. A big wave hit me and I lost my backpack with some important items in it. After that, Kobal found me and took me to his prison in Greek town. I must find them or he will kill me. Do you know anything about the hourglass and a flute that was inside the backpack? That explains a lot. We found it. I was hoping that someone would come and tell us about it, said Mearl, and told him all about the experience with the items. I'm sorry about the gums. I had to put this in for protection. It works only for Kobal and the Gloms. It wouldn't have any effect on you. If it came to them, they would burn and die in pain. I made the flute in my hometown Elton. I am a singer and the flute is my magic power. Only my sound from the flute can make the evil deaf. However, the hourglass is the most important item. It belongs to the wizard who saved us from the evil father of Kobal. He knows about it and wants to take revenge. However, I cannot go back there. He gave me 1 day to find the items and after that, he will kill me. Can I trust you, that you won't give me away? The elf looked so tired and pale. Thank you for discovering the mystery. The elf whispered. Mearl said. Of course. We must stick together. I have a plan. I'm making a magic potion that will help us to face Kobal. Kobal was walking up and down the hill on Fairyland. He was waiting for the elf, who's supposed to bring him the lost items. Kobal was hoping that he would not be able to get on time, so he was already planning the various punishments, which he will joyfully implement on the poor little elf. However, before the day ended, the elf arrived. It was Marlina in elf's body in disguise. Mearl prepared a potion that turned her into Elf Martin. Kobal did not know that, and therefore he wasn't suspecting anything. As the elf was coming closer, the more was Kobal thinking how he could turn this into his way. He wanted to punish him badly. When he came in front of the elf spoke. Your Excellency, the luck served me and I found my stuff. Who said that these are your stuff? I clearly pointed out that these are my stuff, so do not brag about this, you arrogant jackass. Look at your ears. You really look like a jackass. The more I look at you, it's funnier, said Kobal, and grabbed the elf's ears and lifted him up. Ouch! I beg you for mercy, said the elf while tears appear in his eyes. Marlina had no idea how vicious Kobal can be. This is the first time she faced him. She despised him from the first look. I really miss this sound. I adore it, when weaklings pray for my mercy. Now, let me see the items you brought me. Elf handed him the flute and the hourglass. Kobal was watching the items with admiration. He took the flute and blew. Nevertheless, the sound that the flute produced gave even Kobal goosebumps. It sounded like screams from a tortured beast. What is this? Surely, you set me up a disgusting magic. I will kill you if you do not explain this, said Kobal, and then he put the flute into Elf's mouth. Play it. Marlina was afraid that the flute would produce the sound that she played the first time. Luckily, the potion affected on her completely, as she was the real elf Martin. Then she blew into the flute. The sound that she produced made Kobal and his army deaf. When she realized this, she knew that this was an ideal opportunity to escape. Kobal was furious and started shouting, "What did you do to me? I knew that this was some of your concoction. I cannot hear a single word that I say." Gloms, go after him. The elf started running. Glom did not hear a command from Kobal, so they were not able to respond. Marlina was running as fast as she could. She wished at that moment that she could fly. She reached the cave and told Mearl everything that happened. "Well done, my child. This went better than I expected. Here is our elf Martin, back with his friends." The whole cave was full of elves and they were arranging the order to invade Kobal and his army. "Kobal's ears will recover in an hour, and then he will search for us. We must act now. We must go up to the hill," said Martin. Marlina has returned to her fairy body. There was no time for a potion. Marlina, Bobo, Mearl, and 20 elves rushed to the hill. Kobal was raging and beating everyone around. When he saw the elves running to him, he got even angrier. "Damn! How did they appear here? Gloms, I will hit all of you. Why haven't you searched the island and see the conspiracy that starts against me? This is unacceptable. I still cannot hear. I will not panic. I have become even stronger. I swear with my horns, I will destroy them all." Kobal was yelling and he lined his army and directed them immediately to the defense. He didn't even notice Marlina, Bobo, and Mearl. They stood in the back. The elves went back with sticks. Finally, Kobal saw Marlina, Bobo, and Mearl. He stood buried at the place. "Well, look at this. The old grandfather and his circus. Let the games begin. This is going to be the best day of my life." "Don't be arrogant, you evil demon. You will regret that you dared to come and deface our city," said Mearl and hit him with a stone. Kobal crashed, but immediately recovered. Then he took the stone that hit him and threw it right to Mearl. The stone hit him straight in the heart. He fainted on the ground. Marlina and Bobo ran immediately to Mearl and tried to bring him to consciousness. Unfortunately, it was not working. Marlina felt a rush of anger and ran into Kobal. Kobal smiled maliciously. "Do not make me laugh, you dummy. Now you can join your friends." Kobal took her by the wings and started spinning her around his head. Marlina struggled and bit his hand. "Is this how you shows respect for the elderly? Now you will feel pain." Kobal took a needle and pierced her wings. Marlina cried out in pain. She fell to the ground and fainted. Kobal laughed. Elves have stopped the fight and everyone turned to Marlina. They came running up to her, but Kobal stopped them. "Not one step further or I will crush her if you move." Kobal raised his leg over Marlina and strictly looked at the elves. No one moved. They feared that Kobal would kill her. "Glom, capture the elves and take them on board. We will return to Greek Town." Then he turned to Mearl. Bobo sat next to him and tried to summon his consciousness. Kobal shouted, "And these two, tie them, and throw them into the mountain. Find a floor and bury them inside." Gloms threw Mearl and Bobo into the source of life. Luckily, the Gloms did not know what was hiding inside. They just dropped them in and blocked the entrance with stones and returned to the ship.